Hello, Uta Hagen channel here with a longer video. I've put up a couple of shorts. I hope you've seen the snowdrops and some of the satirical ones, such as Uta in the woods with her axe. This is my artifact for today, a nice piece of limestone, which was just waiting for me in the woods, and it's flat enough on the top side that I can use it in my paving project in the middle of my backyard. And I was out there walking with my lecky sticks. Oh, of course, I'm not going to bother with switching everything around, so it'll probably look backwards. But those are my walking sticks, which are designed like cross-country ski poles. And you use them for walking. They were designed for warm weather training for cross-country skiing, but it turns out that walking that way keeps you more upright, uplifted, able to watch the birds and look at the sky and still have 4 points of contact with our Mother Earth while you're in locomotion. It also burns a few more calories. So I got really energized and I decided we're going to launch our new trans widow testimony, Rosalia, part 1. Rosalia's first tentative steps into telling her story reveal more than she knows. I've changed up the order of some of the sentences she wrote me to hold the emotional and chronological thread that she talks about when she feels like she's losing hold of which thread she wants to follow. And I understand this completely. I'm going to try to read through my message here and then go back with a couple of comments where we can see some patterns that are patterns of behavior of our ex-husbands and patterns of behavior of the captured therapists who are not serving us well. And so I know this very well in terms of the difficulty of starting to tell your story. A trans widow is lost in the dark, dark woods, and her husband has already taken a bite from the poison apple. I'll read her testimony through and then come back to the pieces which I see emerging as similar parts of the puzzles of Ophelia and Portia. There's a waft from the Juliet story as well. The connections of pornography, clueless therapists, and narcissism of the lost husband are ringing loudly. In this true tale, the husband's pen name is Horace. Oh, first, a response to another word salad comment. I think you are a porn-sick teen boy. You're probably about 15 and a half. You need to go do your algebra homework. You need to focus on your school, and you need to stop watching this stuff online, and you need to stop going to Tumblr. You come over here with names that are like, but not exactly, because I'm not going to memorize your handles. Madam Seattle, West Coast Cool Chick, or Missy Daisy, you will all seem to be the same person, and your comments are going to get removed. Why do I have this sense? Because you say you're coming back, and you're finding that I haven't changed, I haven't improved myself, and I'm still telling these stories. Yes, that is the purpose of this. If you don't like it, you can go back to that other stuff, but I think you need to go back to your algebra. Maybe even algebra trig. You might be some really smart guy. Yeah, I said it now, what I wrote. Okay. Oh, yes, honey. Madam Seattle, Missy Daisy. You need to know that there are a whole slew of us now. Middle-aged ladies, older ladies. I don't even know if I'm older now or still middle-aged at 66. We're starting YouTube channels to make our anonymous woman response to the dollar store Dylan. Now, what I find with word salad commenters is that often then when I refuse to engage with you, uh, you devolve into cursing and into threats. And so that means to me that I've become some kind of a substitute for your mom. So it would actually be better for you if you go into the kitchen or go into the garage or wherever your mother or any important parent is and offer to help them. Start becoming a little more helpful, and you'll hear some nice childhood stories of theirs or something that you haven't been listening to. All right. Rosalia, Part 1. Trans Widows Testimonies. I'm still trying to parse my experiences. I'm asking myself, what the heck happened? And what was it I really saw? Thinking about my naivete in the beginning of my marriage brought me face to face with the polar opposites of gender identity ideology and our natural biological definitions acquired in high school science. Listening to the true tales of other trans widows made me realize the toll it takes on all the others when these people demand that we prop up their delusions through compelled language. How naive I was indeed. Finding the anecdote to start my story is the first problem, as it was all so intense, so much, and multi-layered. Putting it all in order is overwhelming. I was with Horace for 9 years. I saw that ultimately he was in love with a fantasy woman he wished he could be. He loved his invented female persona more than he could love any other human being. In that vein, I've been looking up AGP. Now, this is autogynephilia, which is translated from the Ray Blanchard language as a male loving himself, pretending to be female, and fantasizing that he is having a female experience of sexual rapture with this fantasy. Understanding that, the AGP, has been beneficial to my moving on in many ways. What I was told was an innocent bedroom game became, over time, an arduous servitude. Completely inauthentic and unnatural for me. Horace's sex drive changed completely. He'd immersed himself in online sissy porn, sometimes called sissy hypnoporn, which is very manipulative and should just lose all of its followers. It's time to get yourself outside and do something else to get off. Do something more natural. Don't watch a two-dimensional screen of other people pretending to have some kind of sexual gratification. It's not good for you. So she's saying, what I was told was an innocent bedroom game became, over time, an arduous servitude, completely inauthentic and unnatural for me. Horace's sex drive changed completely. He'd immersed himself in online sissy porn and the accompanying communities there. Now that's the other thing, is these guys then start connecting with each other. Our relationship began with traditional monogamy. The captured Horace left me for a variety of polyamorous lovers to pursue his true self. It's pretty superficial. How you're going to find your true self with polyamorous lovers is something that I don't even want to try to connect with. If the doctor Horace went to had looked into his complete mental health history, she'd have found the OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, anxiety disorders, and other coexisting problems. After she put him on estrogen and the testosterone blockers, his mood swings became severe. there was a week's crescendo into mania. This is manic behavior. It's overactive, it's compulsive, it's not at all healthy. People do unhealthy things when they are in a phase of mania. Now, I have to change the therapist I've been seeing, as she's changed her own pronouns to she, they, and expects me to identify my own former husband as female. So this is what women are up against when they're in my shoes and in Ophelia's shoes and Juliet's and Portia's, and are now Rosalia's shoes. We get word salad from the people that we're paying for therapy. My advice is find an older therapist who's close to retirement and never ever use compelled speech, and really talk about how you're going to recover from what might have been physical abuse, what certainly was sexual harassment, narcissistic abuse, and to move yourself forward with any problems, financially, because all of that behavior that got described with Horace also involves a lot of money spending, very unhealthy habits. So I just want to come back to this first part where she says, what the heck happened? And what is it that I really saw? And looking back at it all can be completely overwhelming. And the reason for that is that you have been gaslit. There's a film called Gaslight. It starred Ingrid Bergman. And the story went that her husband started tricking her and feeding her lies about what she might be thinking, why she might be having certain reactions. And she started thinking that she was going crazy. The reason it's called Gaslight is because the hour when he started that is when the city worker came around lighting the gas-fueled street lamps. And that's how we got this verb, gaslighting, for being manipulated and lied to and convinced that there's something wrong with you when it's really not about you. You're the normal one. And everyone, please be sure to get out in nature. Please be sure to watch my wellness movement playlists. Try to put the Leonardo together with the long angel and zigzag. Try to piece them together so that you can be well in mind and body always.